What is up, everybody? Welcome out to the show, our 6 o'clock live stream.
Welcome out to the show.
I want to make sure everybody can hear us. We sound good. Give us a quick shout out. Let us know. Um, yeah, man, we got viewer flash tonight. I can't hear myself in these headphones, so these are pointless. I just want to make sure we're good. So, yeah, well, I was just trying to make sure we're not peaking and all that good stuff because I want to make sure we're giving a good experience to our listeners that hang out and come and join us. So just let us know, man. Make sure we sound okay. How was your week, dude?
Other than being sick, I was good.
Yeah, man. You want to talk about your events while we before we get into this?
Nope.
Nope.
Just
Okay.
ended up in the hospital again.
All right. So Justin got to take another trip to Death Valley.
Right. A lobotomy, folks.
Yeah, man. Let me get rid of these because they're just annoying me. Um. Yeah, man. So you're still dealing with some issues.
Yeah, got rid of that pesky frontal lobe where all the empathy and stuff is.
Nice.
Much easier to tattoo now.
So yeah, man, we're gonna do some. We got a couple people that submitted some flash. You actually submitted a couple, which
Yeah,
was
I
cool.
submitted some what I want to get tattooed on me.
I don't have anything off the top of my head right now that I want to get done, so I'm not submitting any. Gonna be a good week, man. I got a pretty good episode coming out tomorrow, I think. If all goes well, it'll be tomorrow. It's a pretty cool little thing I did with a tattoo artist from Columbus, Ohio, named Joey Knuckles, and he sat down with me at Norfolk, and we got to talk about him in the business, and also Stony St. Clair, which is really cool, man. Because to me, that's somebody I've got a lot of interest in. I don't know a lot about Stony, or I didn't actually, other than maybe what I saw in the documentaries that they did. There was two of them. The second one wasn't necessarily about Stony, but Stony Knows How. And there was the book, which I've not read. I probably should do that.
I own it.
No, I know. So I'm probably gonna wind up doing that.
A local band actually put Stony Knows How, like this little like punk band from Columbus, right? They had a 45, and on the other side was the song called "I Don't Want to Die a Virgin."
Nice. Yeah. So then there's the they did the second part of it, Tattoo Uprising. It's basically Alan, can't think of the dude's name, McGovern.
Alan Governor.
McGovern. Anyhow, he did a second one called Tattoo Uprising, where there's more clips of stuff that was left out of the original Stony Knows How, which I had seen. He talks about that briefly, and then it was just really cool, man. I mean, Joey is a unique guy. Got in a position where he was local, and he ate and lived and breathed Stony St. Clair. And when it came down to it, when the family, they found a locker full of stuff, they came to Joey.
That's pretty amazing. That's good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I think Marty Holcomb and him are real tight, and Marty actually worked under Stony, so I think that had a lot to do with it. But yeah, man, we're gonna play you a real quick teaser clip for the episode that's coming out tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and watch it. He is the key holder to everything Stony.
A lot of what I know has also been kind of handed to me through Marty Holcomb. He really should get a lot of credit for the things that I know about Stony, because I don't think Marty gets enough.
All due respect,
credit, man. He's a great guy. At that point I was drawing the designs and making stencils because I was busy, so I was cutting down on time. And he's like, all right, tattoo it on my way. So in 23 years in that town, I've had 3 jobs in tattoo shops, and I happen to now own all 3.
So there you go, man. There's a little promo clip I did for the episode that'll be out tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get it out tomorrow because I wanted to have the week to pick up views and whatnot. I want to make sure people get to see it. Um, I want to maybe open up some doors to some people that don't know who Stony Sinclair is. So unique character.
Definitely a character, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're talking about somebody that basically was given stuff by Cap Coleman. He worked as a circus performer, and when he was in Norfolk, he actually stopped into Cap Coleman's shop, sat down for I think 3 days or whatever, and then Cap Coleman saw him drawing and was like, "Hey, man, I think you can do this." And
Which was a really rare thing because Coleman wasn't known for being a nice guy.
yeah, maybe he had a little bit of heart, a little sympathy for the dude because of his handicap.
Yeah.
I think that might be, have something to do with it. And then, he kind of wound up being he calls it the Jagger, the guy at the corny guy that was the dude doing the tattoos and yeah, man. So pretty cool episode for me. Should be a good time. Yeah, man, I'm amped. So we got Flash tonight that Nikki, our moderator, put in. You put in. We got some Flash from Sarah. We got Flash from Tom. We got Flash from Chris Hawkins. So we got a couple people that did some submissions. It's always interesting to see what other people want to get as far as tattoos and stuff like that. Um, like I said, I don't have anything right now off the top of my head that I want to get. Plus, I'm a little bit. I take a little more time to pick out some of my stuff. So most of the time, the last 2 not so much. So
We could always also talk about that Instagram post we saw.
what Instagram post?
The one about being an artist.
We could definitely talk about that. We could definitely talk about that. We'll do that after the Flash
after
if
the
we got
Flash.
time. So this
Yeah.
way, we'll throw the spicy in later because that did not necessarily go well. You and I had different ideas of where that post went.
Yes.
So should be interesting. Cool, man. Looks like we got a couple people already in. We got Chris Hawkins in.
Coming down the spiral staircase. Chris Hawkins.
I just made a point of going. I'm not going to say it tonight. We got Nikki, our moderator. And it looks
Nikki, 2 songs away.
We got Tom. We got Fat Cracker. We got OG Sarah hanging. And we got Bill O'Connell hanging out. And then Fat Cracker said, "Did they use anesthesia on your hospital visit?"
No. Just
He said you have to earn it.
right in the eye. Right in the eye.
So let me get this stuff together. I got them all lined up. Unfortunately, this system, I don't know if I'm going to keep this, man. I'm not real happy with how this has been running.
Frogs?
So
Was that frogs?
hold on, man. Don't give it away.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez.
I thought it was showing up on the screen.
No. I got to bring it up first in order to throw it up. So what's up, Drag?
I was throwing up Friday night.
So we got the first one. This is from our moderator, Nikki, who is saying that she likes a couple of these different ones, but she's definitely into frogs and would like to, possibly get one of these. So pretty cool.
I really love the.
I like the fact that they're doing yoga poses. To me, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's not really my thing, but that's probably what I would look like doing yoga. Round
yoga?
or
Nice.
I would look like the round ball with legs and head. You know what I mean?
I really like the paintings and the tattoos I've been seeing lately of like the frogs, the tattooed frogs with like the samurai gear on. With the
Okay.
Japanese gear on. It's pretty cool.
I always laugh, man, because I don't think I could do yoga, because I'm a fat ass. But then I always see the nightmare stories about people that are trying to do yoga and they're farting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I guess you just get so comfy that you're busting ass. Yeah, man, that doesn't.
You ever ripped? Now see now the gym, right? You've ripped real good ones in the gym.
Yeah, but that's a bunch of dudes that are sitting around, not a bunch of hot chicks in yoga pants that are.
I guess you haven't been to a yoga class lately.
No, obviously I haven't. I haven't been to a gym lately, if you haven't noticed.
You know, there's a place around here where you can do yoga with baby goats.
What?
Yeah, they let baby goats loose in the room, and while you're doing the yoga, the baby goats climb on you. And
Yeah, okay. That doesn't sound. Anyhow,
I'm gonna run over there and get my glasses so I can actually see.
yeah, man. So this first one is submitted by Chris Hawkins, and he said this is a cowgirl that he wants to get done, and he actually already has this set up and ready to go, and he is going to get Dana Brunson to do this. Chris is Ohio, I believe.
Is Chris on now?
Yeah, he's on.
Chris, is that a Coleman design? That looks like a Coleman design to me.
We'll let him see if he answers. It'll take him a second. What's up, Rooster? Rooster's in. I haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully you're feeling better, man. Tom said, "Who is the creator of the frog?" It's
God
Ding Hu Art. I don't know. So anyhow,
or evolution, depending on
yeah. So while we're waiting for Chris to answer that, we'll pull up his next one because he submitted two, and we'll get this up for him. Yeah, maybe.
Nice.
I want to get rid of this real quick because I think that's jagging me up here, man. Or not. Yeah, this system is killing me, dude. I think I'm gonna have to switch. Get my money back. So this next one is this pretty cool eagle. And he said it was gonna be done by Rockabilly Ray. He didn't.
Cactus?
It's a eagle.
Dagger with a cactus?
What?
There's a dagger in there with a cactus too, right?
In the back here?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe this area right here looks like there's
Dagger with a cactus.
an eagle.
Yeah.
Look,
Ask him what's that about, man?
He's in here.
That looks pretty cool.
So
Cacti.
he said, "I'm not sure." Here, I'll put it up on screen. He said, "I'm not sure." Dana said he's going to change it a little bit. So he's not sure if it was a Coleman design. Luz is in the house. What's up, Luz? Chris said he's not happy with the collar. So, yeah, I could see Dana going, "Okay, let me do some adjustments, man."
I would say it seems to me like it's either going to be a Coleman or a Ben Corduroy. Wasn't Dana all about Ben Corduroy?
Yes,
Corday.
Corday.
Ben Corday.
Yeah, but it depends on if Chris is the one that brought it to Dana or not. So, yeah, but so that's cool. So those are the two that Chris submitted. We did all right. Next up, we got another one. Dana, not me. Okay. So the next one we got is Sarah. Sarah submitted this cool little sheet by this tattoo artist Roz, and she actually wants to get the mushroom butterflies, which she was cool enough to give us the other version of it so you can actually see it a little bit better. And we're going to bring that up. As long as my computer. This is what the full shot of it looks like. That's pretty cool, man. I'm actually digging the thick lines. So there's a girl from Philly. I think her name's Kristen Leto, Letto, Letto maybe. She specializes in, like, that thick line. It almost looks like somebody drew an outline with, like, a fat black marker. I love that, man, because then she's packing in the color. It's completely saturated. It just gives it a nice, bold, uh, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Does that now is that something, though, that later down the line, because those lines are so thick that they could
they're gonna
spread,
get real thick,
like, real thick,
like
right?
real thick. Yeah.
Okay.
So Paulie Fizz, man, he's all about mushrooms.
Okay.
Like if you start talking to him about mushrooms, he'll talk about the mycelium membrane that covers the entire earth and how the mushrooms communicate with each other. It sounds like he took mushrooms when he starts talking about mushrooms.
Okay.
So yeah, I did some mushrooms on Paulie
Okay.
and a frog.
So this next one is a sheet that Tom submitted. Tom's hanging out with us tonight, so he'll get to see it. Um,
Nice.
really cool, dude. Right on. So with the $5 super chat, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. This is definitely your style. I could see you getting into some of this. Um, so pretty cool, right?
Absolutely.
And then Tom also submitted a second sheet that this is actually flash that he worked on himself. So we'll share that for you guys. And this is some flash that Tom's been working on. Pretty cool, right?
Absolutely. Can I see a little bit more?
Yeah, I'll show you actually the original picture because it'll probably be a little bit bigger for you.
Nice.
Here it is. There you go. Blow it up a little bit.
Yeah, moving that black ink around isn't as easy as people think it is.
Okay. How so? Tell us.
Because if you if you put too much ink on the paper and then you put your water next to it to kind of soften the edge,
Right?
it just turns black.
Oh, you mean when you're
Yeah,
drawing on a sheet?
when you're painting, yeah.
I got you. Okay. All right, and then we got a couple that Justin submitted because
All right, so these next two, it's actually probably going to be a hybrid between these two. The first design is Mike Malone, and the second design is Greg Irons.
So this is the Harley Davidson one.
Yeah, they're both. So that's the Mike Malone. That's off of a production sheet he did.
Okay, so
The
that's a production sheet that Rolo put out.
that Rolla put out. Yeah, one of the large 18 by 20 sheets or whatever it was.
Yeah, let me go back to that real quick, Tom. That was awesome work, by the way. I didn't want to breeze over that, man. I mean, dude, you worked on it, you spent time on it, man. That's awesome, dude. I
Good
want to
looking.
I want to make sure we give you some props for that, dude. And thank you to everybody for submitting tonight, man. Um, I'm super stoked that when we have people that are interacting with us and are interested in taking part in it, man. It's pretty cool. Let me just close these real quick. I don't want to gunk up the system. All right, so this next one
A Greg
is
Irons piece.
so that was in a Greg Irons production sheet.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question.
Uh huh.
It looks like it originally had a Harley Davidson shield. Was that after Harley Davidson decided to
No, that was well before.
this came out way before?
Way before that.
Okay.
Before the
So
great Harley Davidson sues everybody.
yeah. So why did he not put in the
I don't
was
know.
it just to put the shield in it and was like whatever?
Yeah, probably just to put because I mean it's still a pretty recognizable symbol.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't. It didn't even have the words in there, and I knew automatically what it was. I mean, obviously, I ride or whatever, so I'm gonna know, um, what it looks like or whatever. But let me close that one real quick, and we'll throw up the last sheet that Justin submitted. Maybe.
So this is an old Spalding. This is an old Spalding sheet, a back piece from their back piece series, and there was more to it when that there was more to it that I took out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why did you white out some of those? Was it because there was some unsavory stuff in it, or
No,
just
no,
ugly stuff?
just stuff I don't really want on the tattoo.
Okay.
Where the line is, I'm probably going to get death is certain, life is not, In the original, it says "One Life to Live," but I don't want to get the name of a soap opera on me.
So,
But that I want to get on my belly and my side.
okay, so we just had a bunch of people. I was just going to ask. So that's where you're thinking about putting that. Now we had the people that actually submitted tonight. You submitted Flash on tattoos that you thought you'd want to get. Tell us in the chat right now where you plan on putting those tattoos. I'm just curious, man. Let's start to see some of those. You guys said, "Hey, this is what I want to get next," but I want to know where you're thinking about getting some of those pieces. I'm always curious to see where people are putting tattoos because some people are running out of space. Some people have tons of room left and stuff like that. So it's always kind of, you know, intriguing to see where people are thinking about getting their next work done. Um,
So it's weird. I tattooed my buddy Mike Marker Bob earlier, and he's been getting tattooed, longer than I have, and he was never shy about putting tattoos over top of tattoos. And I noticed that when I was looking at his body, he doesn't have a bodysuit like a complete bodysuit, but he has a back piece, sleeves, most of his chest and stomach are done, and but it's not all filled in or anything. And there's tattoos that he actually just blasted over top of other ones,
okay. Just got sick of the ones and said,
or
you
just
know what?
he liked the new design more than the old design, so he was like, if it goes over part of it, it's fine.
Ooh, okay. So we got a couple people answering us already. Nikki, our moderator, said, I have lots of empty space, so anywhere. And then Sarah, actually, I think Sarah did say this in her email. She said, I'm putting that on the top of her foot. So she's
God
getting that
bless.
mushroom on the top of your foot. Um, so I've heard people say that hurt really bad, and other people say, nah, it wasn't no big deal. So
I'm gonna get a toe tag on the top of my foot that says "Do a good job"
nice.
for after I die.
So Chris just answered us and said that the eagle is a back piece and the cowgirl is starting my second sleeve.
Nice.
Right on, man.
Is Chris from the Southwest? Is that why he's getting a cactus?
Well, Chris, from what I understand, is in Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah, which is
You've probably told me that 3 times already. I'm just sort of
I think
dumb.
I said it when he was talking about doing the Dana Brunson piece. Um,
See, I have all this area like right here, so that's why I think that riding bike would fit real nice.
all right. Um,
No shame in my game, baby.
I tell you what, man. Now that I think about it, dude, there's a lot of really good tattoo artists in Ohio, man. Just off the top of my head. I mean, the one I guess the one I'm thinking of too is in Kentucky, so it's just south of Ohio. But yeah, man, I actually want to make a trip out there because I want to see the Al Shifley museum. I think that'd be pretty cool, dude. I think it would also bring value to the page because I could probably do an episode on it, but it would also gives me more history background on things that could fill in some blanks and stuff like that. Like I'm really curious on Al Schleifele started the Sandusky Tattoo Club, and I know that Les Skews actually gave him the blessing to do that. Um, and I think some of it happened to be, the travels back and forth. And, that's something that I don't think a lot of people know used to go on back in the day. Um, you know, obviously, because I just did the episode with Joey, um, and in the Stony Knows How, there's the famous scene of Ed Hardy getting tattooed by Stony.
And then Ed Hardy tattooing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He also tattooed in his shop.
Yeah, so in the Tattoo Uprising, there's actually a scene of it's the same time, right? That Ed was there. He wound up actually tattooing Mel Blanc in his backyard, in the one dude's backyard.
Nice.
Um, with I guess it was like a set that Stony gave him to use. And he was the cinematographer or whatever that worked on the documentary. So he gave him the the comedy and tragedy, the two masks, right? Um, but going back to that real quick, I don't think a lot of people really realize how much back in the day that those old guys, the older generation, traveled to and from different, coasts and whatnot to tattoo and other shops. Like it's pretty well known that Ed Hardy like came to the East Coast and um, worked with like Ernie Carafa and when
Did like a tour, yeah.
yeah, yeah, like and Paul Rogers. Um, and then you hear about guys going out west and working with Burt Grimm and other people. Um,
I mean, it's like what you said, like it's what Dana said in the video, the last video. If there's a he said, wow, someone's had a lot of coffee. He said at one when he started there were 200
three
tattooers in the United States,
about 300.
about 300.
Mhm.
So really, if you wanted to learn techniques, I mean, you had to go and sort of make friends and talk to people.
Right,
And also, the whole thing with like the jealousy among tattooers at the time. I mean, if you didn't say the right name when you walked into a shop, you were likely to get thrown out if you were asking questions. Not if you wanted to get tattooed, but if you were asking questions.
right. So Tom said I can still remember how many tattoos I have, so lots of space to still undecided on placement. Um, Bill O'Connell said on Tuesday, I'm getting a portrait of a pit bull we have at the shelter. There will also be a chihuahua next to it. That's awesome, man. Bill, you work at a shelter, a dog shelter? I have a soft spot for people
Yeah, absolutely.
that do that, man. I couldn't do it because I'd want to bring them all home, man. I can't even go to the pound, dude. I'm like a little kid, dude. I want to take them all home. Like I can't even stand going into like PetSmart when they got all the cats and dogs there that they're trying to. Man, it breaks my heart, dude. I tell you what,
I
I'll
was
knock a
in
motherfucker out in a second, dude. But you know what? I get dogs, cats, man, animals, people, little things that can't defend themselves or speak for themselves. I got a soft spot, man. Mm.
so I was in a public park one time with my pit bull, and she was like super friendly. And up on top of this hill was this woman with like four chihuahuas, and the chihuahua saw my pit, and you could almost hear like the trumpet, like "Doo, doo, 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 doo." These like four little tiny dogs came charging down the hill, like they were gonna fuck up my pit bull.
Yeah, man. Dude, chihuahuas? Stop cursing.
Oh, sorry.
Chihuahuas
So I had to like
are ruthless,
I
dude.
had to pick my dog up and like tell the lady like, you know,
Hey.
he's a terrier.
Yeah.
He'll think that those are rats.
Yeah. I tell you what, man.
But it was hilarious just to see. I mean, they just hit all heart, dude,
Yeah.
just cruising down the hill like they were gonna
So
gangbusters.
Bill said my new dog tattoos will be on the side and above my knee. That's awesome, man. And Sarah said I love dog tattoos. Um,
I have a wolf tattoo, not a dog tattoo.
you know what, man? It's one of those things, dude, where I would always like to maybe get a pet or whatever, but then I'd look down and it would remind me, it would break my heart, dude. Like I had an Amstaff that I had for I don't know. We rescued him, right? And he had like crazy separation anxiety, so much so that I had to take him to the vet and he had to take actual Xanax, like people Xanax, because you'd leave the house and he would just like go nuts. Worked with trainers. I mean, I did all kinds of stuff, and it was just rough. But at the time, I was living in the ghetto, dude, of Trenton, and I was walking him because I walked him every morning. So this way, maybe I was thinking that if I did that, it would like get some of the juice out of him.
Some of the energy, yeah.
And so I'm walking and I'm going towards this park, dude, and I look over and there was these two unleashed Rottweilers just full blast running down the street at us. And thank God my dog was like doo 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 and didn't notice them. And I thought for sure I was gonna get hurt.
Right. Yeah.
200 something pound Rotties. My Amstaff was probably 90 pounds.
I mean, you'd have to shoot them.
Well, I didn't have anything on me. You know what I mean? I was 5 a.m. or whatever walk. And man, I thought for sure, dude, it was gonna turn into a fiasco. And dude, all of a sudden, my dog don't notice them. Those dogs were just rolling, dude. Didn't even bat an eyelash, didn't look at me, didn't look at my dog. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. But yeah, man, I had to put him down, dude. He wound up having a stroke and stuff like that. It was bad. So Chris Hawkins said Chihuahuas are dicks. Uh, Staffies are great dogs. Bill said I do because I asked him if he worked at a shelter. I do. I have worked there for over 5 years. It's a no-kill shelter. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we adopted a female pit that was there for almost a year. She came in pregnant and had puppies there at the shelter. That's awesome, dude. You're a good man. That's yeah, man. We need more people like you, dude. Honestly. Um, but yeah, man. So I'm just I love cats, dogs. I know you're not a huge cat fan,
I'm
but
not a yeah. I mean, I like cats. I like dog like cats. If a cat acts like a dog, and I also like super fat cats.
I definitely had that.
If I ever had a cat, it'd be like Jabba the Hutt.
Dude, I had a 30-pound orange tabby that looked
Oh,
like
dude,
Garfield.
yes.
He was yeah, man. The boys would come over and they'd be like, "God damn, dude, we didn't know you had a panther." He was just huge, dude. Um,
And so my dog Pudge, like her stomach is one time a pierogi fell on the floor. A pierogi. So cheese and bread,
Potato.
cheese and potato, right? She threw up off of a pierogi. Like she can't eat anything except for what the dog food I feed her, which is sort of lucky because if she had a good stomach and could eat anything, I'd just be like eating burgers. She'd be eating burgers. I'd be eating pizza. She'd be eating pizza.
Yeah, man. See, my dog now has got like an iron gut, dude.
We would
She
just
can eat anything.
we'd just be on the big chair together, just just
Although I did have a party at my house one time, man, and I had to tell everybody stop feeding my dog.
right.
And preacher, the old man, wouldn't stop feeding her.
Uh huh.
Yeah, dude. And 3 o'clock in the morning, my dog is like totally just going nuts trying to wake me up. And I get up, man, and my dog never has to get up in the middle of the night, dude. I get out, dude, and she runs to the back door, dude, and got the walking farts, and she gets outside, dude, and just unload. I was like, oh. So I had to spend the whole night on
Like
the
with a
couch.
hose.
No, on the couch.
Oh,
She kept making it outside, but she was just like, man, yeah. Anyhow, I don't know how we get on that subject. Thanks for
dogs,
saying
man.
that, Buck. My new dog Tats. I will say one of these breeds have a bad rap for being aggressive. Not the pit, the chi. Oh, so not the pit bull, the Chihuahua. Yeah, man. Um, you know, dogs and cats and whatnot become family members at some point. You just so used to having them around. Um, but
Especially pits because there's no personal space.
yeah, well, that's why they were called nanny dogs, and then
Yeah.
they got a bad rap by people abusing that. That's my Amstaff dude. I rescued him, and he had like a 50 cent piece scar on his hind quarter because they were using him as a bait dog. They were hitting him with the cattle prod. Like, dude, scumbags. There's a special place in hell for people like that, man. Anyhow, man. So we went through the Flash, and we still got a half hour to wrap. I think we should get into the unsavory conversation. Uh, it's not bad, folks. I'm just teasing because it's something that man. We're not going to say who it was. I don't want to. I don't want to, shine any light on that. Uh, but there was an Instagram post, and the person was talking about, hey, I had a friend that wanted to get some posters made or whatever, and they wanted to go to a tattoo artist to do it, and I suggested they go to a graphic designer, and that turned into a complete shitstorm in the comments.
I
Um,
I felt very vindicated by the whole post.
okay,
I mean, the almost every not every comment, but the majority of the comments just seemed to be a repetition of I'm an artist. I work in many mediums. Skin and tattooing is just another medium to me. And then of course there was the I know tattooers that can't even draw, like I'm not about just copying things.
Mhm.
I've drawn my entire life before I got into tattooing, and yeah, it's see, because I drew as a kid, but really I began to draw and paint when I started to tattoo because I love tattooing. I don't love graphic design. I'm not a sculptor. I don't work in oil paint.
Mhm.
I'm a tattooer. I
R
make tattoos. It's what I do.
right.
And it's not so much, I guess it was just the condescending tone.
Right, but I feel like I read it, and I read the comments, and yeah, some of them were, for sure.
Yeah.
But I felt, and this is where you and I vary, right? And this is where we differ, let's say.
Yeah.
Um,
You felt
I didn't feel that way. I didn't think that there were I thought it was more of the on the, "Hey, look, you should be able to do all those things, whether you're painting, sculpting, whatever." But tattooing is just another art form that requires its own skill. It's like, just because you draw doesn't mean you can tattoo.
absolutely.
That's what I took from it. And you kinda took it a different way, which is fine. And I understand why. But then I also understand too, and man, a lot of those people on there that were, making comments might not even know this. Hold on while the cop goes by. Anyhow, um, there were a lot of old school tattooers, we'll call them, because that was the other thing. They tried to make a difference between a tattoo artist and a tattooer. Okay.
Yes.
So in the old days, there were a bunch of tattooers that flat out said that they really couldn't draw, but they could copy a stencil or whatever, and they could do that. And I turned to Justin and I said, but here's the thing though, even though they were a tattooer and not an artist that was working in other mediums, wouldn't you still have to have some type of artistic background to know shading and mixing of colors and whatnot, and understanding this color and this color make green, and this color and this color make, I don't know, light blue or whatever. Like, you would have to know some of that stuff. Then there's the camp of, there were a slew of guys that came out that had art backgrounds. Cliff Raven, Dana Brunson. They're just two off the top of my head right now that I could think of that had some type of art degree that, kind of backed up what that, I'm, I don't think anybody's ever saying that you need to have a degree, obviously.
I just think that there's a difference between somebody that loves tattooing
Hmm.
and that's what I do. I tattoo. And somebody that views it as just another, like, not even their most important art form, just an art form among art forms. Like they're gigging with the digital art, and they're gigging with the tattooing. It doesn't mean anything to them. It's just, they're graphic artists, and
You're right, but then also there's other tattoo artists that are out there that are like, draw, 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 and then draw some more
yeah.
because it's honing your skill. So it's, see what I'm saying?
And then there's like an aesthetic sense, what I think you're talking about, like you know, w- especially with traditional work, you can tell when traditional work is uh, poorly put together. Like, the example with the sparrows. Why did Jerry sparrows look so good, and some people's sparrows just look flat?
Right.
You know, it's because there's an aesthetic, like, correctness to it. Like, he didn't know how to lay in color, and he didn't know how to lay in shading.
Right. So, and that's what I'm saying to you is that there's nothing wrong with and I don't think anybody said there was anything wrong with that, where they were like, look, dude, you can do all different mediums.
I got the feeling that it wasn't just you can do all different mediums. I just got the feeling that it was
You
like,
took it as the dude said, hey, look, dude, tattoo artist guys can't draw, go to somebody else.
No, no, I'm talking about the comments.
Oh, okay.
I took it in the comments as, this is just something that I do among the other things that I do. This is just another expression of, I guess part of it is that, like, if you're getting paid, first off, you're not an artist, right? You're a graphic designer. I'm a graphic designer. I'm getting paid. I'm making a living.
Mhm.
I'm like a guy drawing engineering plans or an advertiser. You live down by the Seine in Paris and sacrifice your food money so that you can buy inks for your oil painting, then you're an artist, right? If that's your gig, you know, and just the how pretentious, you know, like we're getting paid, man.
Right. Well, I think that this is gonna be one of those things, man, where we're gonna, you're always gonna have, different thoughts about this. You're always gonna have the people that dude, right on. Um,
See, I'm all for like live and let live, dude. I really am.
appreciate the $10 super chat.
Thanks, Chris. Like I'm all about the live and let live. If they want to be graphic artists and they just want to, it's just a medium among mediums. Like I understand that, and I'm live and let live guy. But don't like piss on me because I love tattooing.
Right.
I guess it feels like disrespect or encroachment.
Okay. I mean, look, this is something that you and I, it, and it's gonna happen numerous times on this show where it's gonna be the good cop, bad cop routine where I'm gonna think one way, and I'm only using
Yeah,
that as a reference. It's not, one's right, one's wrong.
I think of it more as like a comedy duo. You're the straight guy, and I'm the comic relief. I mean, in that being said, I mean, like grimy came up out of. I mean, think about the tattooers that came up out of the graffiti
A lot of them.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. There's nothing wrong with having other art interests. I'm not saying that.
No, it was just the way that some of the stuff was projected.
Yeah, how demeaning it was.
Yeah, and I get that, man. You know, like I said, there were a couple comments that I was like, I see what you're saying, but I didn't feel like it was weighted that way. So I don't know. What do you guys think out there? I mean, do you feel like it? So Tom said, Justin, are you a tattoo artist or a tattooer?
I'm a tattooer.
Yeah, but okay,
I've always been a tattooer.
okay. See, but to me, a tattooer doesn't draw anything up. A tattooer is strictly flash. Just whatever's on the wall, I'll knock it out. We'll make it look exactly like what's on the wall.
Then I'm a tattoo artist. If that's your definition of tattooer.
Well, that's my definition. I'm not saying that that's the correct definition, but to me, a tattoo artist is a guy that can, obviously do anything that's on the wall, right? But they can also do custom pieces that say, somebody walks in and goes, "Hey man, I want to." Well, that was weird.
That was weird.
I totally glitched there for a second. We're back though. Where was I? Oh, so like a tattoo artist is the guy that you walk into the shop and you go, hey man, I want to get this Viking and I want it to be on a ship
Yes.
or whatever, and that's the guy can draw it up and boom boom boom, and you know what I mean. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying that was my always that's
Well,
how I thought.
by that by that uh what do you call it? Standard. Yeah, I'm a tattoo artist. I think of as tattooer as I'm true to the old school values of tattooing. I'm true to the, what I feel is like with a modern definitely we can have modern subject matter, and we can and definitely push boundaries, but just I don't know, just don't treat it like it's just another gig.
Well, yeah, I mean, look,
You know what I
dude,
mean?
that's there's you gotta realize too, though,
I mean,
that not everybody's like you, dude. That
put some heart and some love into it.
but that's the thing is there's gonna be people out there that are just gonna take from it. They're not gonna. They don't love it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna just use it as a job, and I'm gonna make money off it, and that's it.
And I know a bunch of tattooers like that who are really good tattooers that just don't like tattooing anymore.
Mm,
Like they'd really rather be in bands or like doing comic books or whatever other thing they're into doing. But it's how they pay their bills.
mhm.
And I personally, I don't want to get tattooed by them. I want somebody to throw some love in there. You know what I mean?
Right. Fat Cracker said, "Are you using the dictionary meaning of art or the general cultural perception of art?" And I don't know.
I don't know what that.
That
See,
just spun my head out, so I don't even know.
what's Fat Cracker's real name?
Well, I don't know if I
All
don't.
right, yeah, Fat Cracker, you're too smart. That's too smart a question.
That's
Look,
for another show, dude.
yeah, that's for another show.
We're not.
This isn't a TED talk.
Dude.
No, when I think of I guess when I think
He
of
is a smart dude, by the way.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I think of like classic artists, like high artists, I mean, a lot of them guys suffered. A lot of them guys died
Yes, I mean
penniless.
that's why starving artist,
Yeah.
right? I mean that's where the whole thing came from. um, I mean, I get what you're saying too, though. Like if you're the dude that's down the river and living like a hobo so they can paint or whatever, then so be it. That's a starving artist. That's the definition of it, right? Um, I don't know, man. We're not gonna talk about it today, but I saw one of the Instagrams that came on, and it was a
Well,
total
I mean, we
like,
got 10 minutes.
nah, man, because I don't want to take it out of context, and I want to make sure I know exactly how it was said.
No, 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 that's not what we do on YouTube.
No, 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 no.
On YouTube,
That's how I do
we
because
just
I don't want to because a first off,
we just jump to conclusions and talk.
ah, I'm just saying. I mean, the guy was pretty ruthless against the older generation, and he was pretty ruthless against the fact that there was too much gatekeeping going on, and you wonder why you're struggling right now. We'll bring it up and we'll talk about it next week. So tune in for that, man. Maybe that'll bring some of you guys back. Most of you guys are OG followers anyway, so it doesn't matter. But there might be some people that see this later on and that don't watch us live that will go, oh, okay. And look, I don't want to get into that because, man, that our viewers have said, hey, man, we like you guys because you don't do the drama stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ever take that stance of being the drama people. But there's also times where you got to maybe bring up some of these things because there's people out there saying it and it's wrong,
Because it is a state of tattooing.
unfortunately.
There is a lot of that in tattooing.
Man,
So
something is burning down.
so if you guys aren't familiar with Philadelphia, for a lot of years, Philadelphia Eddie and his son Billy Funk didn't necessarily get along. And Billy Funk ran Body Graphics Tattoo. And today I was able to tattoo my buddy Marker Bob, who worked as a floor guy at the Chinatown Body Graphics. And it was interesting to be talking to somebody who came up like in the 80s and the 90s, because he dealt with the guys, like all the guys that he came up with are old heads now.
Yeah.
Maybe not like super old heads, but
Or
like
gone.
what?
Or gone.
Yeah, are veterans. They're all veteran tattooers, guys of respect. But like, we were talking about like when they were new and it was like Jerry Reds and Tommy Knapp and like uh, you know, I mean Philadelphia Eddie and you know, how they viewed these young dudes with like shaved heads listening to like punk rock music.
Hmm.
And I don't think it was that much different.
Well, it's funny you say that because I actually asked Joey Knuckles that I said, look, what do you think Stoney would think of tattooing today? And he was like, look, I don't want to put words in a guy's mouth that, I don't want to speak for somebody that's not here to defend themselves or whatever. Um, but then he said something about Holcomb was saying that how he felt like, because knowing Stoney and knowing that, this tattooed punk rocker is in control of his estate, not estate, but his
Yeah.
work, right? And he was like, I don't know if he'd like me, but I think he'd think it was pretty funny. You know what I mean? And you could kind of see that, man. It's we talk about that a lot where, like, even let's say like Sailor Jerry, if he really knew that Ed Hardy was a pot smoking hippie,
He never would have spoken to him.
right?
He never would have talked to him.
So I think every generation's going to have that, where
So
there's going to be like, I don't really dig the whole, like, people walking around with the nose thing or whatever. Like, it's not I don't wait, hold on, back up. Reverse. I don't dig it for me. It's
there's
not
going to be a
something I
protest.
would get.
There's going to be a nose thingy protest
No, no,
now.
no. It's not something I would get. But I'm not saying it's unacceptable. It's just not something I would get.
So, like Mike Malone, when he was living in New York City, had access to the ukiyo-e prints, the Japanese prints that a lot of the tattooing was based off, because he had some kind of connection at I think the Museum of Natural History, and that was the whole reason that Sailor Jerry even spoke to him,
Okay.
because he had access to this. I mean, it wasn't like there were. I mean, obviously there probably were books about Japanese ukiyo-e art, but they were, there was no internet,
Right.
and so Malone had taken photographs, and Jerry sort of wanted access to the photographs.
There you go. I mean, I think that the internet right now has replaced the artist travel tour thing, right? There's at this point, um, internet has cut down on that. I mean, it still happens today, obviously, but I don't think it happens as much as it used to, especially with the bigger name people. I think that the internet and Instagram and all these other things have cut down the need to do that. But
Cut down the need to do what?
to do like a tattoo tour where
To
you're
travel
going,
around,
yeah,
pick up tips.
going from shop to shop and meeting new people and stuff like that, because you don't need to do it. You can actually, somebody right now could post their work and they could be in Timbuktu, and I'd be like, oh, that's cool, and you know who it is. It's
I mean,
There's also missing that whole personal feel, the personal thing that a lot of the older generation says is missing now, even with conventions, right? When the conventions were smaller, you could actually walk up. That's why I mean, I thought Norfolk was the best convention I've ever been to,
yeah,
because it was smaller. Um, that everybody was willing to talk, was willing to socialize, was willing to share thoughts, opinions, whatever. Um, Even people that I thought were going to be kind of standoffish and, yeah, man, don't talk to me, were not. You know, to me, when I hear the older guys talk about how the first, five or so conventions were, and it was small, and that's kind of the feeling that I get that how it was.
yeah, when it was more of a subculture,
Right.
more underground.
So I don't know. You guys got all quiet out there in internet land. I don't see anybody talking in chat. So you got questions or whatever, let them rip, man. Let's talk about it. We still got time. So I feel like I want to bring you guys back into the fold. You guys got all quiet and clammed up on us. The chat was firing away, bam, 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 and then all of a sudden, stopped.
You know what I thought about the other day?
As soon as you started bringing up your, controversial stuff.
No. You know what I thought of the other day? I thought of Garth and
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, the cable show.
Yeah.
I was like, is that what me and Buck are like? Are we like the cable show?
We're
Party
the,
time.
we're like the low budget,
Excellent.
the low budget live stream that hardly anybody watches. Meanwhile, there's all these dudes out there with slick looking podcasts and get thousands upon thousands of views, and you know what I mean.
So it
Check
is.
your mic, dude.
Check my mic,
Yeah, you're touching it.
my beard. What
No, you
about
keep
now?
touching it. You're like a little kid, man. Stop touching it.
Like a little kid or a grown adult, one of the two.
Either or.
Either or.
Um,
So, like with the thing with the internet, because so the flash I have on my walls now is more or less just art. It's just people whose flash I liked. Because I can't remember the last time someone came in and picked something off the walls. Everybody brings stuff in on their phones.
I did. I did.
You did? Oh yeah, something I painted.
Yeah, man. I got the star done.
But that used to happen all the time, and now it's super, super rare.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time I actually walked into a tattoo shop and was like, "Hey, man, that's what I want." I mean, I kind of go in there with stuff I have looked up or researched or
So what I always do when I post stuff that people bring in, I always make sure to put on there image supplied by client.
right. So you're not ripping off somebody else's stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
supposedly.
just out of respect.
Yeah. No, I've seen you do that, man.
Because I've had a couple pieces of mine bootleg, a couple custom pieces that yeah, it sucks. They weren't
Yeah.
done, and they weren't even done that well.
So what would piss you off more, the fact that somebody did it, or the fact that somebody did it and did it horribly? Who's that yelling?
I don't I don't know who's yelling.
You better check that dude out, man. Hold on, Nick. All right. Anyhow, you know, uh, this is a working shop, so we got to expect that every once in a while, even though we're closed right now.
Yeah, this is a working shop.
So, anyhow, where were we? I don't even remember. It don't matter, dude.
We were talking about giving people credit.
Yeah. I mean,
So another thing that I
that's what I was asking you. Does it piss you off more when somebody bogarts your stuff, or does it piss you off more when somebody bogarts your stuff and then does a shitty job of it?
I like when they do a shitty job of it.
Because then you're like, hey, man, see, you should have came
There
here.
you go.
Ah, I see.
So it's funny where sometimes you can see the degeneration of designs through
Right.
people's flash. And I always wondered what that was about. And what I eventually found out is that like way back in the day, before there were tattoo magazines and before there was the internet, obviously, if a guy had a nice design, a tattooer was likely to run out of his shop and just kind of throw a piece of like tracing paper right on his arm and trace it up real quick. You know, I read somewhere, I forget where it was, but how at one point in tattooing, if you could get photographs of another tattooer's work, it was really considered pretty precious, you know,
Mm.
because that was insight into his craft and his art, you know. Is everybody still quiet?
Yeah, pretty much. It's fine. Everybody's out there sleeping. We lulled them. We lulled them to sleep tonight, man. We didn't have anything earth shattering tonight.
Did I offend him?
No, maybe. Who cares?
No, I didn't offend him. I'm the comedic relief. I'm Costello. Bud Zabbitt.
Are you guys pretty much
I'm Jerry Lee Lewis.
are you excited about Thanksgiving, man? Even though you're probably not gonna be able to eat.
I'm excited to see my mom.
Okay.
I mean, I can eat, you know, I just can't eat anything I like.
Anything that has spice or
Yeah,
flavor.
when people are like, "Hey, I'm going to a 7-Eleven. Is there anything you want?" I'm like, "Yeah, 2 hot dogs and a Reese's cup and some chips." Now, what can I eat from there? Nothing.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I think after this year with my mom battling through all her stuff that she went through and her being able to like sit down and have a good Thanksgiving with us, it's gonna be awesome, dude. Really looking forward to it. I always like spending time with family, so I don't get to do it that often. Even though, I don't live that far away from my family, but it's always a nice day, man. And then because I don't really do the Black Friday shopping thing, so usually what I do is like on Thanksgiving evening.
It's all Cyber Monday now.
Nah, I'll take my mom out in the car and show her the Christmas lights. Yeah, man, we do that for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So,
So are you guys a Christmas Day or Christmas Eve?
Christmas Day.
We're a Christmas Eve family.
Yeah, man. So I think we used to do Christmas Eve when it was, when you had like more family to go see and stuff like that. But man, my family's getting smaller each year, so we just do Christmas Day. Um, when I was a little kid, man, we used to do the whole open up a present or two on Christmas Eve. You know what I mean? And then you'd be all excited for Christmas Day. Yeah, especially if you saw something under the tree that you were like, "Oh man, I know what that is. I know what that is." You want to
So,
hear the most ruthless Christmas story ever?
all right, I got a better one, but yeah,
I don't know, man. This is pretty bad. She apologizes every year for this. Every year.
the year that she let the puppy die in the box.
That's bad. No, that's unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. Nah, dude. So I really, really, really wanted this dirt bike, right?
Uh-huh.
And you got to remember, my mom.
Gas dirt
Yeah,
bike?
oh yeah, it was
Oh, yeah.
legit. It was a RM 125.
Mhm.
Actually, it was a KDX. I wanted the Kawasaki. And so my mom was an ER nurse. So my mom saw all kinds of motorcycle accidents, right?
Right.
Broke her down. Her and my dad were like, okay, we're going to do it. So, dude, this is where the story gets jacked. Please don't think bad of my mom. Christmas morning, obviously there's no dirt bike under my tree because where the hell are you going to hide a dirt bike, right? But they gave me a helmet. They were like, all right, we got you a helmet. So I was like, oh, yeah, dude, I'm getting a dirt bike.
Right.
Yeah, I never got the dirt bike.
You just got the helmet.
Just got the helmet.
Nice.
Because I was supposed to pick up the bike in like 2 weeks later or something. And during that 2 weeks, my mom was working in the ER and some young kid died riding a dirt bike. And they were like, nah, no dirt bike, dude. I was like, what? Are you effing kidding me, dude? You bought me a helmet. Like, what? Who does that? That is goddamn torture, dude.
So,
So I made them, wait, hold on.
okay,
So I made them pay dearly for that mistake.
by becoming a motorcycle.
Well, yeah, that was later though. Dude, I made them like turn around and buy me like I think it was an $800 Skyway Street Styler. It was like one of the freestyle bikes. Yeah, dude, it wasn't no $50 Huffy, dude. You were buying me uh, the G, dude. Skyway Street Styler, dude. I just looked it up the other day because I was like, man, I wonder how much that bike's worth now. And my aunt's friend's kids stole it. I know they stole it, little bastards. Do you know how much that bike's worth right now?
How much is that bike worth now?
If it's in good condition, not mint, and an all original, $3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, talk about pissed. That's almost as bad as me losing the disco ball on my Millennium Falcon. Because if I had that, I'd have all the parts to it. It'd be worth a fortune.
So, do you remember the race car sets?
Yeah,
They had the track with like the little electric things in there.
yeah,
And
slot racers.
yeah, slot racers, right? So I come down Christmas morning. There's a slot racer track set up under the Christmas tree. I go to use it, and my dad's like, uh, it doesn't work. And I'm like, why? Why doesn't it work? And so my father and his friends were all like partying and they set up the slot racers. And then, of course, they were like, hey, this is pretty cool. And they burnt out the slot racing track. They burnt out the set and they left it there. They left it there.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't think that tops me getting a helmet and
Yeah.
no motorcycle. That was pretty ruthless, dude. Anyhow, man, it seems like everyone has gotten quiet on us. Either that or our chat's just not working. So I don't know. But I want to wish all of you.
I don't like Christmas because my father dressed as Santa Claus and came down this. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. See, my chat's not loading. I got people talking, and I'm not even.
We were talking, Buck.
Gilmani said recently in an interview he is a tattoo artist 24 hours a day. That's what he is all the time. There you go. I think the ones that really love it would tattoo even for free. Tattoos are a way of life. There you go. Drag said, I love tattoos as art form. Nice way to express yourself. Tom said, I've been told in shops I have been in looking for a man apprenticeship that if you love painting, just stick to painting. Ooh, I've heard you say that before.
I got told something very similar to
Our
that.
moderator said, we're listening. uh, Chris Hawkins said, I love old school Flash. Tom said, you mentioned the Jerry Sparrow before. Is the bad ones just not bad copies? Is the bad ones just not bad
No,
copies?
there's like for a lot of artists, if you look at like the older Flash, their sparrows just seem really, really flat.
Yeah,
Like Jerry definitely had, and I mean, and he wasn't shy about this. Like he was really very he didn't like many tattooers because he didn't think they were artistic enough.
yeah.
So he had like a real aesthetic sense, and I just think he put them together real well.
Um, okay. Yeah, so we did have a long discussion about that one night, Tom. Um, there's just something about you can look at certain Flash and it just looks so flat. And then you look at other Flash and you're like, damn, it's got that artistic quality to it. So
Yeah, love.
there you go.
Somebody put some love into that design.
Drake said everything's all right. Not at all. They were all responding to me going, what, everybody sleeping? Because I'm like, dude. So for some reason, and man, my chat froze on here, but I went over to the live stream of YouTube and I see all the chats now. I bought my daughter a helicopter and I showed, this is Drag, by the way. I
Like
bought
a
my
real
daughter
helicopter?
a helicopter and showed her how it works. I tried it. It flew away, not reacted at all. The helicopter was gone by Christmas. Sarah said, I'm still listening. Dude, that sounds like my drone.
Yeah.
Dude, I still have yet to fly that thing anywhere normal, man. I gotta try it in a field or something. But man, I was all about trying that thing, dude, and it flipped upside down, and then I didn't realize the controls were backwards at that point. And next thing I know, I saw it skip off my neighbor's roof, and then it just disappeared. So I thought it went in their backyard and went over on the other neighbors that I don't even know.
Is
I
that the neighbors that got like they got the full view when you were on the
Yeah,
ladder?
yeah, dude. I was wearing shorts and my bubble gum hung up by accident, which is funny because she came over for Halloween dressed up as like a witch or whatever. And dude, she was all like, "Hey, I just thought I'd say hello." Cause dude, I'm over there and I'm like knocking on their door, going, "Hey, can if the wind blows, can you just pick up my drone and whatever?" And she was like, "How long have you lived here?" And I'm like, "I don't know, 5, 6 years." And she's like, "We're just meeting you." I'm like, bro, I keep to myself. What do you want, man? I'm the dude that, man, I try to be nice to all my neighbors because at
Yeah.
one time, there'd be times where 30 bikes would pull up in front of my house and I didn't want my neighbors all calling the cops. So, like, every winter when it snows, I go out of my way to like snow blow everybody's driveway and sidewalks because I don't want anybody calling the cops when a bunch of bikes are out in front of my house. Because, I rolled up the first time with 30 something bikes and the older people were down the street and they were like running in their houses. I don't know what the hell they thought was pulling up, but you know, you gotta be nice to everybody. So I try to keep my
So
distance.
my mom lives like in a it's not a retirement, it's like a community. It's like a senior community, and there's like everybody that lives there is a certain age and they get tax breaks or whatever. None of them pay school tax. And yeah, a couple, I think at one point this summer, I was pulling out of there on my bike, and this like old lady, like I'm just minding my own business, driving out, and my bike isn't super loud. It's just,
Dude, stop.
it's not super loud.
Dude,
I'm not like cracking it or
you're
anything.
not even allowed to ride on the left side of me anymore.
And it, and and this old lady like she mean mugged me to the point where I was like, damn, what is what
Dude, your bike's loud.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to ride on the left side of me
Yeah,
anymore
my bike's loud.
because I'm like, bro, you got to ride on the other side, so I don't have to hear your pipes. Well, man, once I get this other bike up and running, dude,
That's what happens when you take the baffles out.
I'm straight piping that bad boy, dude. It's gonna be nasty. I'm gonna put a set of apes on it, all blacked out. Nice set of straight pipes on it.
Nice.
Either that or the ground pounders, the ones that curve right to the ground and they're only like that long. Yeah, dude, that's gonna be nasty. Anyhow, man, for all of you that actually do Thanksgiving, have a great, safe, happy Thanksgiving. For the rest of you, enjoy your Thursday. I don't know what just happened, but I know I'm still broadcasting. I
So
don't
stay
know
safe,
if
everybody.
I don't know
Be good.
if YouTube is still broadcasting or not, but I just want to make sure everybody says, or we say, anyhow, have a safe, happy Thanksgiving. Boy, I fumbled the shit out of that. Have a good one, folks. Peace.